I mean, we had a plan going in that this is our A plan, and if the race goes seamlessly, this is what we're going to do, or what we're going to try and do. And then we had a B plan that if guys or cautions fall at certain times, that opens it up for different strategies, then we're going to do this. But it played out pretty much the way we wanted it to. The main goal for us starting the race was either the 5 or us, whoever got out into the lead, try and run as hard as you can to build the gap so where you have a limited number of guys that can jump you at the end of the stage one. And only 6 jumped us. So we decided we were going to come with 2 to go if we thought we were going to more than that. But it worked out. So we won the stage and then we started 7th. And got a pretty bad restart that first time. He got in there and landed tight, and it took off on him, and we lost a few spots. But he learned from that, and we learned from that. And it went to stage 2 where we drove back to a pretty good situation, and caution come out when it did. Got really good restarts. Went from, I guess, we finished 9th at the end of stage 2.
Yeah, you were like 8th to 4th all of it, one lap or something.
Correct. Yeah. But the caution before that got us to where we could pit and get to our flip lap, right? So a lot of guys had to flip 15 laps before the end of stage 2, where we could go to the flip lap and then do it. And then we had more guys pit at the end of the stage than we thought we were going to, so we restarted 6th. And from there, he just had really good restarts, jumped 2 or 3, jumped 1 or 2, and then took the lead and tried to build as big a gap as we could to we knew guys were going to need more fuel than we did, but we weren't counting on the 45 being as fast as he was at 10.
Yeah, where did he come? I mean, he did a really good job once staying out and clocking off some fast times. I mean, to be able to not lose when he pitted, right? I mean, all the guys who ran long, I mean, they lost straightaways, right, because of how slow they were going. Right. And I thought the same thing about the 45. I wasn't paying attention how fast he was going when he was leading and when he was running up front, and all of a sudden he pitted, and I was like, "Holy cow!
Oh yeah,
he's gonna be a problem, for these guys coming up." And was there a lot of talk from you guys of what was going on once that happened, or you guys just never even?
So I kept an eye on the lap times. I asked when we peeled off and pitted and he stayed out, I'm like, is our gap okay to him being able to jump us by taking 2 or something? And Gail was like, no, we're fine. We're here. So we just managed we fell back to the 24, just managing our tires.
Right.
I felt like we let him get too close because then you're one corner getting held up and he's there, right? But I kept an eye on the 45 after he pitted, just watching his lap times. We were more concerned about the 20. Once we learned with 25 to go, he was going to try and go to the end. So we trying to push Denny to get there. Because if a caution comes out with 10 to go and he's still a leader, do you pit? Do you not pit? That kind of situation. Does it allow him to save enough to make it to the end? So we tried to push Denny to get there. And but the 45, we're taking the white flag, and I'm like, don't let up. I mean, the 45 has just passed the 24, and he's 2 seconds back and 0.8 of a second better than us per lap. So, but it worked out. Thankfully, the traffic he had to come through held him up enough just to let us go.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much you were pacing your size. I was looking at lap times, and I'm like, I don't know how much he's saving, but he better quit if he's got anything left in the tank.
Well, I mean, you guys had to be careful for the caution, right? Because you had to give yourself an opportunity, are we going to pit or not? I mean, you wear your stuff out. You're like, he's going to come over the rear, goes, guys, I don't have anything left. We're going to have to pit. But, when you guys were behind the 24 or ahead of the 24, I've seen the gap. I'm like, I know how fast he's been compared to the 24 the whole race. He's just saving. But it's like you guys are all doing the math to your competitor at that point, right? Who's running well? Who's got a chance? Who's doing, the guys that jumped you, you weren't really worried about them, right? Because they weren't as fast as you guys. Right. So who were you, like, when you got into, let's say, the middle of the second stage, who were you guys most worried about? Who were you guys, like, keying off of? Anybody?
Not really anybody in particular. You just looked at guys that had the amount of fuel. Our plan was to try and start stage 3 with only needing X amount of fuel. So we pitted and took, when we green flag stopped into stage 2, coming to our flip lap, we actually held him and took more fuel than anybody else. We had like a 14-second pit stop because we waited on fuel, which set us up for short fill at the end, right? Where a lot of guys, the 42, 43, they didn't wait on fuel. So we planned for stage 3 starting as full as we could be and best track position as we could have, and then not needing to do but one can when we did stop. So that was the plan. So it wasn't really anybody in particular, just
Running your own race, man.
and our own race.
Tommy, talk about that because we talk about a lot about taking fuel. It's become kind of the name of the game as far as strategy goes. We're talking about basically one can versus two cans, right? And that's just slowing the pit stop down after you take one can, right? So, like, I feel like every race we go to now, especially places like this, places like Michigan, you're basing your whole race around just trying to put one can in at the end, where it's, at some point in the race you need to probably fill it. So how do you break that up? Is it just situationally based of where you're running at that moment, track position wise? When should we do this? Could we just risk it to later? Because obviously, if you're going to put a little more and you want to do it under green, and are you just hoping to keep kicking that can down the road and hope to get to that green flag stop, or is it just all right? This is an opportunity we can fill it here and then hope for the best later.
Yeah, I mean it's both. I mean it all depends on where you're running. I mean if you're in the high 20s, low 30s, and you need to get into cleaner air, you need to just put enough fuel in to get you to the next stop, right? I mean, we all know we're getting the race is laid out for all of us pretty much. Hopefully, when everything comes into play, right?